Hello, Sean from Combat Simulations. Flashpoint Campaigns Red Storm. This is my overview and tutorial. I'm going to do the tutorial for this game as well. And just go through all the basic mechanics and how the game works. Awesome game. I got about a week ago. Never played a game like this. Really, really awesome. What this entails is, remember in the 80s, you had your Warsaw Pact and your NATO forces, and they faced off in Europe in the 80s. This is a hypothetical simulation of if they went to war there. How would those combatants, how would those forces tee off against each other? What would the results be? And it's very accurate. Very unique game. And it's got a whole lot of unique things I've seen in it I've never seen in any other war game. It's a brilliant, brilliant simulation. All right, before I get started though, please subscribe to my channel. It's free. And also leave some comments and also watch my videos and share them. All right. So let's just start on the main screen. Let me just give you some history. Flashpoint Red Storm. The first game was in 2007. It was called Flashpoint Germany, and that's how it was. That's what they said in the manual. And then 2013 they made an update of that. New maps. They fixed a lot of problems with the game. They put new combat mechanics in there, and then they made Flashpoint Campaigns Red Storm. And then there was a DLC, Flashpoint Campaigns Germany Reforged, which I also bought from Steam for this game. So I've got the complete game. I said you should go buy it because it's a great game, really, really good. Yeah, so let's just start on the main. So I'll go through all the bits and pieces. Like I'll just explain the menus and all of that. Then I'll go through the tutorial and I'll explain the mechanics of the tutorial there as well. All right, so on the screen you got your user preferences, standard to most games. Yeah, you can basically change the parameters for scrolling. You can set the sound, the background sound, the unit sound, the themes. This is the music. I've got that switched off. Generals tab. You can run this in full screen or in windowed mode. And this just, like mouse wheel rolled forward, zooms map out. So it's just different parameters. Turn resolution, whether you want to enable hit animations, enable unit movement, sound effects, all that type of stuff. And then the game colors. It's just various transparencies, different colors you want for the mouse and movement and all this stuff. All right. Then it comes with editors. You can edit a campaign. You can make a campaign, and you can make a scenario. The only thing is, as you see over here by my mouse, the only thing that's missing from this game, and I'll say that much, is a skirmish scenario. It's the only downside. I wish I could actually pick my forces on a point system and play against the AI, and the AI picks its points on a point system, picks its units on a point system, and then you can have a go. It hasn't got it, but that's like a small downside. This game is fantastic. It's got such a unique command structure. It's so realistic in the way they've set it up, and the way it's a WeGo system. It's not turn based, but it's got a nuance with that. And I'll as I go through the tutorial, I'll explain as best I can. So please bear with me. I do repeat myself a lot. Okay, so I try not to. I try to say the right things and not repeat myself. But I'm also learning here, so just bear with me. I'm doing my best, and I hope I do justice to this. I hope I can cover everything that I'm going to tell you here as well. All right, so let's go. You can play the campaign or scenario. All right. Now the campaign, I'll just pick the campaign. I think there's four campaigns. Hell on Wheels, Red Hammer, School Teacher, Medium, School Teacher, and Wolves. Okay. Now you can't pick your side. It's obviously set up for each side, the campaign. So you don't pick a side for that, and then you carry your troops from scenario to scenario. The scenarios. Yeah, the single player. You can play as Warsaw Pact down there, and you can play as NATO, whichever you choose. You can go head to head. You can play against the computer. You can play an email, and the computer can play against each other. Now, this game comes with a ton of scenarios. I mean, there must be about 40 or 50 scenarios here. You've got your normal scenarios, which obviously I assume came from Red Storm. Then you've got the Reforged. This is the DLC. So they're all their scenarios, okay? And then you've got alternate scenarios for them as well. And there's the briefings down there. And extra scenarios, 2 extra scenarios. And then you've also got Orange's 2016. These are a lot more like staff exercises, I presume. And then the 2017. So there's a ton of scenarios, and you get them in different sizes. You get like small, medium, and large. And you can play. You can play most of these scenarios. Like, for example, like this is a small scenario: eyes, ears, and teeth. It's recommended you play from the Soviet side. Okay. Now you can play from both sides. I mean, if I picked this Warsaw Pact there in the beginning, when I was setting up the game, I can actually play this on the Warsaw side. Even though I can actually play, sorry, as the NATO side, even though it's set up for the Warsaw Pact. But each scenario, I think quite a few scenarios come with like this: eyes, ears, and teeth. You can play this as the Soviet side, and then you'll see, I think there's another one for eyes. Yeah, there's one there. See there? And this is set up. This is also small. This is set up for NATO. So it's the same scenario, but from both sides. So the developers have decided on target solution. I think it's on target. Let me have a look. Um, on target simulations. These are the guys that developed that. So you can play it from both sides. And they've set it up all these scenarios, and large, small, and big. Now, I haven't played any of these scenarios. Only scenario I played to death was the tutorial. So I know how the tutorial works, and it's set up for the NATO side. But I've played that also from the Warsaw Pact side, because I also play. You can play it from. It's not designed from the Warsaw Pact, but you can play it from there. Now, the manual, I've read the manual about 2-3 times. I've gone through the notes, the what's new notes. I've read the reforged manual a couple of times. I've gone on the forums, so I kind of know how the system works. I got my head around it. It's so easy to play. I mean, it's such. The manual's not even detailed in its description, but it gives you an overview, broad view, and rightly so, because what the developers have done on target simulations is they've recreated the friction of warfare. So you don't know all the formulas and how each gun, how the people will react in the game and all this type of stuff. And they left a little bit of fog of war for you to find out. But it's so much common sense and so intuitive that you can start playing already, and you learn as you go along. That's how easy this game is to play. But it's like one of these easy to play but hard to master games, and it's fantastic. When I'm going to show you the command setup and how the command structures work and how the reporting structures work, you'll be blown away. As soon as you go buy it, it's such a great game. All right, so where were we? I'm going to do the tutorial. All right, so I've set it up for NATO. Now, these are the realism settings. I've got most of them ticked off. The only ones I've allowed is allow staff fire support. I like that on it. It enables the AI to make fire support requests on behalf of his units for you. You can always jump in and also correct those and make your own. You can override him. I like it like this because it saves an order. It just works out better that way. And I've kept the line of sight. Now, this is more to make the game more playable because, I mean, it's a top-down map. So you don't have the advantage of 3D, where you can on the battlefield. So this just helps a lot. Otherwise, the game's, I've put all the realism options on. Okay, so the game's, as it's set up, it's pretty realistic. All right, let's start. Okay, good. Now, whenever you start a tutorial or a scenario, you get this tutorial briefing, you get the scenario description, gives you an overview of I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it gives you an overview of what this scenario is about. And then you get your own specific player mission briefing. This is like the headquarters setup, like the main place where you get all your information together from the battlefield. For example, like the player mission briefing, Major Townsend, commander of the 1st Armored, 5 o'clock, 1st of May, 1989. And we're ordered to move to the town of Nordheim van Rooyen to secure the bridges at the river crossing to follow on force for a follow-on force to utilize in later operations. And the 12th Guards Soviet tank division is also going to do that. And it gives you an idea of what it is: light fog, clearing the weather as the day starts. It's dynamic. The weather's dynamic. It changes as you go. And they're underway, and gives you a little bit of information of the Soviet forces, like they've put in moderate jamming and spoofing operations, and it'll impact our command network. Right. Then you've got Intel friendly. Now, in this game, this is all updated in real time. So you can come to this briefing place with F2 anytime in the game, and it's all updated real time. So Intel are what we have, all in detail. For example, our second platoon of the first armored company is 95% readiness, 85% morale, and 90% ammo. And this is updated for all your units and then you get a map where your units are at the moment. All right. Then you've got a detailed force roster. Now, this is a breakdown of every unit that you have under each command. So, for example, my headquarters for the first armored company, is I've got a Challenger, 2 Challengers, and a Ferret. And then under this guy, under this headquarters falls these different platoons, like the first armored, obviously, and I've got 3 Challengers, and it breaks this all down in detail of what you have at the moment, your detailed roster, updated as you go along, as the game goes. It's in real time. And then I've got some intel on what I expect to face in the scenario. For example, the estimate of opposition forces. So there'll be like 40 to 50 main battle tanks. Expect that. I don't get the types, just expect that that's what will face me. There'll be 30 to 40 infantry and stuff like that. And you can see the last reported sites. It gives you this map here, and you can see where they last reported. So all updated in real time. What I know of the enemy forces, or what I've seen. Okay, so at the bottom, you've got the show templates. Now, I think this is a bit of a gaming option. I don't ever use this, but I'll just show it to you. When you click on that, it shows you in detail what you're expected to face. The commands, the types of units, like you expect in the scenario. You will get a T-80B1, and you'll get this platoon coming against you. It highlights your enemy forces in detail. I don't like this when you're playing a scenario. This is just gamey. I don't know why they put it in, but I suppose for people that want to have a look at that. So I'll keep that off. Reported kills, nice table of each of your different platoons and what they've killed, the recon units they've killed, the helicopters, the tanks, and then it totals it up down here and totals it over there. All updated in real time. Staff alerts. Now, I suppose now in this, where you've got a small amount of units, you're not really going to use this much. But in the bigger scenarios, I mean, I had a look at some of the scenarios, and they're huge. I mean, I've just had a look at it. The maps are gigantic, and you've got like hundreds of different commands underneath you and units. So this would come really in benefit, because this tells you which units, where they are, that are low in energy or low in readiness, or don't have enough ammo, and all this type of stuff, morale. And you can click on there and go to it. I'll show it to you as we go along. And then the summary staff report. Now, here's your victory conditions. So it also keeps it real time, as I presume updated. We'll have a look. You've got your victory locations, which are, let me just go down here. So basically in the scenario, we're up here in these blue-purple hexes. This is our placement hex. And we've got to come and take these victory scenarios here and hold them till the end of the scenario. Now, the enemy, the Soviets, have got to do the same thing. The Warsaw Pact have got to do the same thing. They've got to get there and move us out and get those victory points. Now, over here where I was, you get, for your victory points you have, the enemy losses, the amount of enemy you should, because each unit has got a victory point value. So you get victory points for killing their units. The exited units is bonus, penalty, victory points, all that type of stuff. And it's tallied up here. And then your opponent, the Warsaw Pact, which we are playing now, is also there, what they get, and there's tallied up. Then the percentage I have towards the amount of victory points as a percentage that I am that I have to him is then calculated, and I can see whether I won. So contested battle, 42 to 54%. If I want to get a decisive success, I would need to get bigger or equal to 70% of the victory points that he has to win the battle. I hope you understand that. It's quite straightforward. And then you got this nice graph of the tanks you have at the moment, and as it goes down, and at the end of the game, you get a little graph on the side of the Warsaw Pact or your opponent, and how many tanks he had and how many he's destroyed, and it gives you a nice graph there. And then down here in detail, your British forces. And then at the end of the scenario, we'll go to there. You'll see that it gives you a little summary of what you've done, how many units are been destroyed, how many of these were destroyed, and you can look at these and all that type of stuff. So basically, this is the victory calculations window, and it's also updated real time. Okay, now I don't know if I mentioned this. I haven't played any of the scenarios, not one of them, except the tutorial, and I've played it to death. I've played the NATO side, and I've also had a go at the Soviet side. And I can tell you, it's set up for NATO because it's a pretty easy scenario. You can win this pretty easily. It's just designed basically to show you the movement and how the game plays out and whatever. And the Soviet side, you're not designed. But I can tell you, I haven't won as the Soviets. I've been destroyed everywhere. And you'll see how I wipe out the Soviets. And I thought, oh, I'll play the Soviets. And I played them. I tried to bring my tanks down here, and I tried to bring them up there. And I tried what the AI did. I tried a different move, and I was wiped out just like the AI. Okay, so it just shows you, how lethal. I mean, in this game, modern combat. In the manual, it says there that as the weapon over the years, as the weapons increased in lethality, the battlefield becomes more empty, which means the troops are you can't see anybody. They're using cover as much as possible. You don't want to because to be sighted in this game is death. You get wiped out. If you're spotted, if your units, you'll see his recon units, he'll try stuff. The minute you see them, they get wiped out. So it's the lethality in the modern battlefield is a step up from World War II, a complete step up. I couldn't believe it. How the units can't, once they get seen, they get. So the idea in the modern battlefield and in present is to move dispersed and hope and not give the enemy any intel, and then hit him hard when he doesn't know you're there, and have intel of him. So it's a shift in mindset, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I love this game. I love the way they've set it up. Such a good game. Such a well thought out game. All right. So I'm going to go through all of this now so I can give you a better idea. So let's just start with the map. It's 500 meters. Its scale is 500 meters per hex. You've got various elevations. You've got like up to 5. And if I hover my mouse pointer over a hex, it'll tell me it's elevation 3. The cover is 90%, so how much cover I can expect my troops to get there, and how difficult it is to move. It's 20% to move in there. And this, if I go to this sec, it's 70%. So I move much easier. And then I move easier there as well. And on the roads, I presume, so on the roads I move very well. And so when you hover your mouse point, you get this elevation thing, and it shows you all of that, which is great. All right, so that's the map. Now let's just go through the menus. Here you can save and end the game. The views. Now you've got different overlays. Elevation. Sorry. Elevation codes. So obviously where it's darker, it's higher ground. Where it's lighter, it's lower. You've got the visibility hindrance ratings. So basically, where can you see the best? So you can't see really through woods or past towns, but you can see better in the open. And it gives you the numbers to show you, where you're going to have these hindrances, where you won't be able to see. Mobility. This is just where you can move. where you got the best hindrance to move, where you can move much more easily, and it gives it to you in actual numbers. Like in the trees, you're going to have 80% hindrance. In the open, you're going to have 30%. On roads, maybe less. So that's nice. Anything else there? That's just the zoom. Okay, Tactical Operations Center. This is what we got over here. You can call that up. It's F2. Okay, I just want to take out that endurance thing again. Clear all the units of the map so you can see the map better. Victory points, hide map markers, show full screen, and all these various options. And then you can you start your turn resolution and all that type of stuff. Okay, let's put the units back on. All right, so every scenario you get this purple blue highlighted axis where you can place your units. Okay, let me just see. I can put a unit there. I can put him up there. So this is how you start. This is how you set up your units. And yeah, and also on the map, sometimes you'll have like these TRP points, artillery reference points, that comes with the design of the map of the scenario for your side. So if I put it over there, it means every time I plot artillery fire in there, it's going to be much more accurate. Okay, and then you've got things like this is a fortification, so it's better, you get better cover there. This is a fortification sort of hex there. I think you've got mines here. Yeah, you got mines. So this is set up already in the scenario. You get that with the scenarios as you start, depending on the scenario designer. Okay, let's start with these menus here. Let's start with the game menu. Now, this is where you start the game once you've placed all your orders, and I'll do all that now, but I'm just going to go through these menus here. So it's at 5 o'clock, May the 1st, and we got 30 minutes to our British orders. All right, and there's our weather. So our visuals is 2,000 meters. That's as far as we can see. Now that's dynamic. The weather changes all the time as you play, and it affects your movement. It affects the sighting range. It affects all kinds of stuff. So this is, you got to keep an eye on the weather. There's us as the player. We're the first armor. It's Townsend. 13 minutes. The next order will be 5:13, almost 5:15. And then our radar activity, our orders phase. This is the number. Pre-game, you don't have an amount here, but this is the number of orders you can do per turn. And average readiness, the recovery of our readiness. If we rest the units, how much do we recover in terms of the total? And our forced victory points, HP, forced victory points, 100%. So that's just our total value that we have on the field now of victory points in terms of units. The command cycle. Now, this is what makes this game so unique. This is where it really separates this from anything I've played, and it's such an awesome feature. The game is WeGo. So, for example, I get to plot my moves. Like I won't do this right now, but I get to plot it. So I can plot where I'm going to want it, and he will move from there to there and all that type of stuff. But I won't do it now. And then the opponent, I plot all my moves for all my people. Now the opponent, the Soviets will do the same. Then when I hit end turn, we move together. But here's the thing. This is what they've incorporated in this thing. Here's the thing. Depending on my electronic warfare hindrance, and depending on the readiness and the coherence of my entire force, I get an order cycle, a future order cycle. So what that means is, because my force is I've got all my HQs, the readiness is higher, the morale is good, they're all in command radius, I get a 13-minute cycle. My opponent gets a 24-minute cycle. So what this means is, even though it's we all go together, in 13 minutes, the game will stop and I can place some more orders. But my opponent, he won't be able to place any orders until 24 minutes of the game is gone before he can place an order. So what that means is, I'm able, because I've got a short cycle, I'm able to readjust my forces depending on him, and he's not. Here's the thing, this is dynamic. So depending on the hits I get, the units I lose, and my force readiness drops in the battles, and and when I fight the battles and I lose readiness and all this, this will get higher. It'll start, my force composition and stuff will start to degrade. And I could be sitting at 24, and if he manages his forces properly, and his forces are intact and they have high readiness, this will drop. And it might be that he now is sitting on 13 minutes per turn, and I'm sitting on 24. So this is dynamic. So what you want to do is you want to try and get within his loop, so that you can be reacting at a much quicker pace for him than him. So this determines the tempo of the game. Very unique. Never seen anything like that, and it works fantastically. Really good. So you got to keep that in mind, and all of this factors into that. How many orders I've got, how much of the delays, it takes my whole command structure. And with the radio activity, and works out how many I should have, how many minutes I should have till the next, and then how many he should have. I hope I'm explaining that. I know it's a bit, but once I understood this, I got it. I got it personally. Now, the radio activity, I just want to go back. So that's pretty much covered it. This very important, this part, command structure, your command cycle. Now, this part where the player is, the radio activity. Now, here's the thing. Every time there's my command company commander for the 1st Armored Platoon here. Every time I place an order, a radio signal, I radio the unit. This guy moves, and he gets a radio event from me. And then he reports back to me where he is, and if he's moving, and where he's landed up. And that's all tallied up together. All my reports to him and all his reports to me is tallied up together. And then you see the radio activity of the number of times we've done all this. These reports are gone on, and I've received them for my entire force, and how many I have per hour. Here's the thing. Here's the important thing. If this gets very high, he can tap into my my reporting structure with his electronic measures, and he will start to be able to find out where my HQs are. And then he'll start bombing them. So this process gives my force away. So I've got to do the best I can with the least amount of radioactivity, so that I can stay hidden. I hope I'm explaining it, but this is the key crux to the game, and it's realistic, and you'll see how it works. Not so much here, but in this scenario, I'll show you how this sort of pans out. It's brilliant. And then you've got now the orders phase, each depending on your radioactivity, your cycles, your HQ leader counts, your electronic warfare hindrance. Depending on all those factors, you also get then a set of orders. Now, in pre-game, that's not counted. You can place as many orders as you want because you're setting up your units. But as the game goes, and as I know I'm harping on about this because it's so important. As the game goes and your units degrade in readiness, and they get hits, and their morale goes down, and your structures begin to fall apart, you get less and less orders available to you. And depending on your structure of your HQs and stuff. So I could have like between 1 and 8 orders. I could have 8 orders available to use. My opponent might have 3 or 4. And it's dynamic. I might at some stages only be able to order. I'll have a setup like this. I'm here by the hill, and I can only order 3. I only got 3 orders. Now each move here, each thing you do here on the game for each unit is an order. So can you imagine? You've got 3 orders. You've got all these guys sitting here, and you can only order 3 tanks, 3 tanks down there. And that's all you've got for your cycle. And this is factored into everything else. The radioactivity, the EW hindrance, the cycles, the readiness, and I know I'm harping on to that, but you've got to understand that's the connection. All right, that's how it all fits in together. So you've got to keep, the idea behind this whole thing is you've got to keep your forces structured. You got to give as little orders as little radio events, giving out orders as possible, so that you make sure you do the most destruction or you achieve your goals with a minimum of effort, and then keeping your forces out of danger, keeping them not uh, 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 bombed, keeping their morale up, keeping them in cover, all this type of thing. So you've got to try and manage this command under you in the most effective way. And this is all factored in to see how you're managing your command. It's awesome, man. What an awesome system. On target simulations got this thing right. I've never played a game. It's funny, this game, and I don't harp too much, but this game kind of went under the radar for me. I've never seen this game before. I mean, a week ago, I was looking for simulations for my channel, and you get all, the World War, World War One, World War Two, ancient simulation, great stuff. A lot of it's turn-based, okay, and they have the normal board game, you go, I go thing. And I'd never seen this before, and I saw it on Steam, and I thought, hey, let me just check this out. And I went and read all the reports and had a look at some of the videos on YouTube about it. And I couldn't be, and I thought, yeah, I got to try this, because I mean, I saw how they play, and I've never seen anything like this, any kind of system ever in this way, which factors in all your structures together, your force readiness, all of this together to create this type of we go simultaneous turn system with nuances involved. Yeah, I hope I'm explaining that. I know I try my best. My words I don't always do justice to what I mean, but I hope you're getting the crux here of these important tabs, all of these, and the weather that's dynamic. And the great thing is, I'm repeating myself, this is all dynamic. This all changes depending on what you do and what you decide. All right, so I think enough on that. I covered that. I'm going to show you how. And one more thing. Each order you give, there's a delay. So even though I'm sending the order down there, there's going to be a delay. Also, depending on your readiness, depending on your HQ availability, your command radius of your HQs. How far can you move away from them? There'll be a delay, 2 to 10 minutes, depending on their readiness, depending on the battlefield conditions and what they can see. There'll be a delay. So you don't just click there and he starts moving. They'll take time for him to get there. All right. And each place he goes, there's a delay, depending on the movement, things for the terrain. He might get there later than you expect. He might encounter enemies and he stops. Then you want him to say, you move him here and he encounters, but you want him to get out of there. You can give him another order, which costs you an order. But now he's going to he's in combat. It's going to cost double the time for him to get the order and move away. You understand? He doesn't move away straight away. All these units have their own, they're little fighting units, and they react on the ground. So all of that's factored in. Yeah, it's like the whole is larger than the sum of the parts. If I've said that right, all the parts don't. The whole combination is exceeding all the parts of this game. It's really a fantastic system. All right, so yeah, now your order of battle. On the field, you've got all of these are structured in commands, so you can go to each of these units, and down at the bottom here, and you can click on the map, you've got a detailed description of that unit. So he's a veteran tank, platoon of 3 challengers. There's 3 challengers at the bottom, and if I click on subunits, there's his subunits. If I go to the mortars, there's his subunits. Tells me whether they're on core, covered posture, their readiness, their ammo, their morale, and how far they are from their hexes, from the HQs, and their standoff, and their claims, what they've killed, and all this type of stuff. And on each of these little, when I've got there by subunits, each of these, if I double click, it gives me a detailed description of the capabilities of that unit. Let me just go down to the challenges here. So there. Okay, so there's the challenger unit. All right, let me just do it for you so you got it better. So there's all my challenges. If I double click, I've got the challenger unit. Now, this is also, each unit has a victory point. So if the enemy kills that, he gets that 131 victory points. It tells me the speed, the front and flank protection, the number of crew, then the armaments. Like it's 120 millimeter cannon, 31% AP, 31 AP and 42 heat. That's a penetration, 52 ammo. And their sensors and their special abilities. Like these guys, this Challenger 1, he's got a thermal imaging system, which means he can see through smoke. and you'll see me use it. Now, here's the thing: the Warsaw Pact don't have thermal imaging, as far as I've seen. Some of the T-80 tanks don't have it. So when you put smoke in front of him, you can shoot him; he can't see you, so he can't shoot back. So all of these play into the fact of where you decide to put your units, your tanks, and all this type of stuff based on what their capabilities are. You want to try and get as much as their capabilities out as you can. And you've got for all the units that in your force, all their capabilities, whether they're recon units and whatever. And you can also look at the Warsaw Pact. Like I'll get to this T-80B1, which is in the scenario. He's got night vision, light amplification, and laser range finder, but he's got no thermal imaging, so he can't see me when there's smoke. It's funny how the Warsaw Pact wasn't as advanced as NATO forces, and he can't see me. So you can't see me with smoke. So there you go. So you can use that to your ability. You got to understand each of your units and what they can and can't do. Now this order of battle, I think it said in the beginning, you can change the structure of this. You can actually highlight this first arm, this third of the first army, this one tank, and you can put him under. If I highlight, you see it's right, like it's, see the little mouse where I'm going. So and there I've put him under there. Okay, but I'm gonna put him back under the first. Oh, I know. I think I've. I hope I can. Uh, okay, now I'll put him back. I hope. Yeah, I'll put him back. So you can change the structure of your forces, and that also impacts. I think you can do it during the play. I'm not 100% sure while the game's on, but it also changes your call, your on-call artillery. It changes your readiness. It also affects you if you change the structures of your forces as well in game. I think you can only change it here in the pre setup phase. I'm not sure if you can change it while. I think you can't change it while the game's on, depending on the side and whatever. But here's where you go to all your guys, and you can see the detail at the bottom. And then the sub units are highlighted here, so I can see what this mortar unit can do. And his vehicle that he travels with is a warrior, a tracked APC, and this is what carries him to the battlefield. And if I click on the tactical ops center diary, this is just all the events that happen in the day, in the turn. It gives you detailed events of all of that. Here at the bottom, I can zoom in and zoom out. Yeah, I can look at the line of sight. I'm going to get to the line of sight now, which is important. But let me just finish these top things here. FX is just your do I want background sound, movement sound, all that. I've got it all ticked. Victory points. My victory points in terms of units is 3,763. I haven't claimed any kills yet. And there's the victory points, hexes, and then the same for him. He's just 4,070 starting unit points. You can always update in real time. Withdrawals and reinforcements. Artillery is coming. It's been here in 40 minutes. I've got some helicopters are coming. They'll be when are they coming? Sorry, where am I now? They're arriving in 51 minutes, and then they're going to be withdrawn in 179 minutes over the year. You see the withdrawal, yeah. And then I got a tornado, which is let me see if I can just. Yeah, there's the details of CAS. So it'll come and do airstrikes for you, and I'll do that. I don't you don't really need it in the scenario, but I'll do it just so you can see how it functions. Yeah, and then I've got the fire support. Now, when those artillery is available off map, I'll be able to just go to fire support and then specifically order each one of these to, you know, give me support in this X and bomb that X and that type of thing. All right, so I think that part's covered as best I could. You know, if you know better, you can just leave some comments there and explain it better. But I think I got my head around that. All right, and I've explained that as much as best I can. Okay, so let's look at the map. Here I've put line of sight on. So if I press shift and I hold the mouse button, I can see where I can see from each of those X's. All right, so yeah, I can see. And it's depending on the visibility, only 2,000 meters. So that's what 4Xs. I can see 4Xs, and it shows me the number, which is closest. You know how it's the grade. I can see that. I can see this X, yeah, but it's only 41% visibility. I can do it for each of the units as well. If I click on a unit, it'll tell me what it can see in that X. And important thing that I'm going to mention is that even though I can see in the visibility, I can see 4Xs. Each unit has also got a spotting ability, which I can spot him by. So I might be able to see here, but I might not be able to pick up his units because each unit, and I'll just give you this idea here, spottable area, has its own spottable area. So only units that are within these spottable areas will be able to pick this unit up, see it. So he could be sitting over here, and I can only spot him if I've got a unit in here. I can only be able to see him from these X's, even though I'm able to see across. So each unit is also spottable. So you can't just, the line of sight just gives you where you can see, but you might not be able to see all the units that are in there, all the enemy units, because they've got their own spottable. I hope I'm explaining that. Yeah. And then command range. Each HQ has a range where the units are going to be within that range in order to get all the benefits, readiness, morale, all this type of stuff, orders delay. If they're out of that range, and now the orders delay goes up. It takes them longer to move around. They lose readiness quicker, and readiness is lost with combat, fighting, and with movement. The longer you move your units, the more difficult the terrain, they lose readiness. So it factors in fatigue as well, which is important. Eh? And now in this scenario, he's got a big range, but remember, it's a small scenario, so you don't need to worry too much about his command range. But in the large scenarios, you'll need to make sure that your units underneath him are within his range. Now, he's the guy, he commands these two. If I press the control and I click on him, it shows me the units under his control. So you see this little yellow. So all of these armored divisions fall underneath him. If he loses this, they start to lose readiness. So you must protect your HQ units. They're not fighting units. They will lose readiness and morale and fatigue and all that because they're not underneath him. But they will automatically fall under the next HQ. So even if you lose him, they will go to the next HQ. But there will be delays and stuff if you lose him. So you've got to keep him alive, the HQ units, because he's part of the command structure. Yeah, okay. Anything else that I need to say before I start? All right, so let's get started. Now, basically, as I go along, I'll explain what I'm doing so that you can get a better idea. We're tasked at taking these X's. He's coming in to take these X's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tanks, my challengers down here to screen, because I know he's going to either come through here or he's going to come down here. Now it's difficult to play the Warsaw Pact. I try to come through here, and I got blasted and killed every time. So there's two options he's going to come through, and I know he's going to come down here. This is where the AI usually likes to come. So I'm going to put my tanks to screen down here over this hill, and they've got a good line of sight in here, so they'll be able to be ready to take on there. And I'm going to move my anti-tank and my mortar down to here. I'm going to put my anti-tank in here. I'm going to put my recon over there, so it gives him a good line of sight. And I'm going to move my infantry into this and occupy these X's so that I can win. All right, so I can win the scenario. All right, so let's put our tanks. I'm going to put my tanks in there. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to put my HQ here. And I'm going to put my AA over there. So let's just move these guys. Now I want these two guys. I'm going to select the entire stack. And I want them to move deliberately. You've got two moves and one assault. So you don't, in this game, you don't tell units to shoot at those units. They are intelligent. You give them orders. And you hope, and they work under their own initiative, and you hope that they carry out those orders to the best of their ability. And then you change the orders and you move them around. You don't tell them specifically to attack other units. The only attack part is the assault part. This is where you can target them to assault another unit in another hex. And then it takes them about 30 minutes to set that up. Your most important moves really are your move deliberate and hasty, and then what you give them, the orders you give them at those points. All right, so I'm going to move this lot deliberately. I'm going to move one there, and I want to put these two over there. And then I'm going to put them to screen. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same over here with these guys. But these guys I'm going to move individually. So if I hover my mouse pointer, then this dialog comes up and I can select who I want here. So I'm going to move him individually. And because I want them spaced out, I'm going to move him there and I'm going to move him to the end there. Okay, and I'm going to put him on screen. And I'm going to do this. Let's just see. I'm going to do this. The other one I'm going to move deliberate there, and I'm going to put him there. Okay, and I'm put him on screen. And I'm going to move the HQ. Yeah, okay, let me just highlight that. I'm going to move him deliberate there, and I'm going to put him in the middle here, and I'm going to also put him on screen. Okay, so I'm going to have my tanks over here and my HQ here. Now I've got to be careful. Now here's where the nuances, parts of the nuances come into it. As you see here at the bottom here, he's going to move. He's going to get to the first waypoint at 12 minutes past 5. Then the second one at 23 minutes past 5. And he's basically going to arrive here. Both of them are going to arrive here at about 5:30. These guys individually, like this guy, is going to arrive here at about 5:30. And his colleague, the guy in the X with him, he's going to arrive here at about 5:37. It's almost 22. Now my HQ is going to rock up here at 27 minutes past 5. He's gonna arrive there before the rest of those. Now he's not really a huge combat unit. He's not there to fight. He's there for command and control. I actually want him to be the last one to end up there. I want him to move with these troops and end up there last. I don't want him here alone here facing the enemy and these guys are still coming. So I'm going to adjust these waypoints. Right, so I right click on there and I tell him to please delay. I'm going to give him 5 because he needs to get at about, let me just see. I've left that at 5. What times are they getting? 5:37. Sorry, 5:37 and 5:31. So I want this guy to be delayed a little bit more. I actually want him to get there a little bit later. Let's say 40. So now he will wait. He'll wait at these waypoints and he will travel with these guys. Another thing you've got to be careful of is, even though I can highlight a whole ton of units. I can select the whole stack of units in there and move them all and let me just give you an idea. Insert waypoints, and they're moving together. You see that they're arriving together. There's their waypoints. That's the first waypoint time. And that's the last one. So they live traveling in a stack. Now you can do that, yeah. But the problem is when you're in a stack, you're the most vulnerable. And it causes traffic jams. So if the enemy finds you in a stack, they're going to come out there and they want to blast that stack, and you're going to lose a ton of units. So you must move dispersed using the cover you can best get and fight concentrated. So you must always be spread out in the modern battlefield because you'll die. I can promise you that. So if I put a delay here, say of 2, okay, 2. So at least now these guys will be not so synchronized. And I'll put that there. So the one guy will go behind the other guy. So they won't be always in a stack. So you got to factor in this is how you got to play the game, because you got to be careful. You don't be moving big stacks around because the enemy targets that. So that's part of synchronizing your forces to get to the battlefield in the most efficient way and the most covered way, keeping them out of enemy contact so the enemy doesn't know where you are. All right. I'm going to put my mortars here with my recce's. Whose else is here? I'm going to put my AT, my anti-tank with the recce's. And I'm putting my AR. And now I'm putting them in the stack here just for the purposes of showing you. And each one of these I'm going to move different. I'm going to take my reconnaissance guy and I'm going to move him hasty. I'm going to target for that X. I'm going to target here and I'm going to put him on the hill. And I'm going to put him on screen. Now screen has got a standoff range. If you select hold for your units, they will try and dig in there and improve the fortifications. But the problem is they dug in. So it's difficult for them to move away in a hurry. They don't move out of that formation in a hurry. And if they dug in, they better defend it, but they're stuck in there. You understand? So it's best for infantry to be put in hold position in cities and forests and stuff. But for your reconnaissance and your tanks, I like to try and keep them in screen, because the minute the enemy knows where you are, he starts targeting those hexes and bombing them, and you want your units to be able to keep a distance, especially tanks, from the enemy, but use the firepower to bring them down, to destroy them. I hope I'm explaining that. Now, reconnaissance unit's on screen because he's not a fighting unit. He'll die quickly, so he needs to run away in a hurry. Okay, so anti-tank, I'm going to move him deliberate to there, and I'm going to put him in that hill, and I'm going to put him on hold because that's a prepared. I'm going to move this one down. I'm going to put him on hold because that's a prepared place, so he's got good cover there. And you can also adjust the waypoints as you go along. So even though look where I've moved him now. Where's he now? Let's put him back there. Okay, so even though I've moved him, I can adjust the waypoint in his route there. All right. I do want the artillery. That's the mortar. Now I'm going to move him. Move deliberate to there, to there, to there, and I'm going to put him on call, so he's available to be called if anybody needs him. And I'm going to take this AI, and I'm also going to this anti-aircraft. Sorry, and I'm also going to move him in there, and then I'm going to put. Okay, I'll explain that now. I'm going to put him also on hold. So he now has a radius and he can cover me. If this guy sends any jets or planes, he'll be able to target them. It's a good line of sight there. Now that's sorted that part. Now for my infantry guys, I want these guys in here, but I want my tank companies here already here screening these guys while they move in here, and I want these anti-tank and the aircraft guys in this before these guys get here. Okay, so I'm also going to stagger them a little bit. So let me just spread them out so I know where I am. Yeah, okay, that's the mortar, and there's my commander. I forgot about my regimental commander, the boss, the big guy, the guy that's controlling all this. I also need to put him somewhere. He's got a big radius, so I'm going to move him deliberate. I'm going to move him there, and I'm going to put him in the town. And I'm also going to put him on. I'm going to put him on screen as well when he's in the town. Because I mean, if he comes, if they overrun me, I want him to be able to run away on his own discretion. I don't want him to dig in. All right, so he's sorted. He's going to go on his way there. I don't worry too much about the time him getting there because he's on his own. He's out of cover, out of the enemy area. And I'm going to put these guys over there, and I'm going to put my HQ there. I'm going to move these guys individually. This first guy, this first mechanized unit, I'm going to move him deliberately down to there, and he's going to go and put in hold over there. Now I'm going to explain this. I didn't explain this. How this works is you can disembark from your APCs or your vehicles 1 hex before. So if I set it at 1 hex, he will. I can't see it here. He will disembark on. Okay, I'll do the other one for you so you can just. I wanted to show you. I'm going to put him on hold. For example, this guy. Move deliberate. He's going to take the same. I hope I can see that whole thing there. So I can better explain it. He's going to go there, and he's going to go there, and I'm going to put him there. Okay, now that's better. So now this screen. So if it's set to 1, what will happen is he will, when he gets to the hex before his final waypoint, he will disembark from his vehicles and move to that hex in foot. Now, just remember that it doesn't mean now that he leaves his vehicles behind him. He doesn't leave his vehicles and he goes there on foot. He moves with his vehicles. The whole unit still moves, but he's on foot. So his vehicles are traveling behind him, supporting him. Okay. Why is that important? Why is this important? The reason is that if for example I didn't do that, say I didn't I didn't say 2 X's before. If I'm caught, these guys are in the units. If I'm caught and he's not disembarked, when a unit is killed that is an APC with troops inside it, the whole unit dies. The troops die and the unit dies. So you want to try and avoid that situation as much as possible. You want him to maybe disembark a little earlier so that he can get there, and if he dies, the APC doesn't die. If the APC dies, he's still alive. I hope I'm explaining that. But I'll keep this at 0 because I'll have him park off disembark on the hex there, and I'll put him at hold. Okay, and I'll do the same thing for him. I'll move. I'll bring him down. I'll put him on that hex, and I'll also keep him at 0. You can disembark in the hex, and I'll put him on hold. Now the mortars. Okay, I'm gonna also move deliberate there, and I'm gonna put him there, and I'm gonna put him on. You can disembark in the X. I'm gonna put him on call, and then the HQ. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna move because I want him to be close. I'm gonna put there, and I'm gonna put him there, and I'm gonna put him. I'm also gonna put him on. I should put him on screen, but yeah, I'll put him on screen. Okay, so that means if he takes too much cover or somebody gets too near to him, he move away because the HQs are flipping important. Yeah, and that's covered all my moves for now. I've placed all my moves. Now I'm going to start my turn. Yeah, so everything's covered. Now I start my turn. Now he's placed these orders. He's going to go at the same time as me. So let's go. Now you see all these guys start to execute their orders, their moves. Now, I've played this scenario a few times, so I know he comes late and whatever. So it's a scenario I know I've played, so that's why I'm not doing this 100% correctly. I'm not planning everything up because I played it so many times. I know what's coming. Players, as I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, play the side as the Soviets and try and win the scenario. I can't win it. This NATO AI blows the hell out of me. All right. So my turn resolution is over. That's 13 minutes, as you see. Now I can place some more orders. Let me go back to the C3. You see, he can't touch his orders. He's still going to run. His orders are still going to run for 24 minutes. I can now react to him. I can now change my orders. The problem is every time I change my orders, there's delays involved. All right. And secondly, it increases my radio traffic. All right. I'm already at 45 orders at 45 per hour, so that means he will start to pick up where my HQs are. So you got to keep your units on the move at all times. Yeah, I'm going to leave everything as it is. They can carry on because I'm happy with the setup, so I'm not going to change anything now. Now the visibility has changed. 2,000 meters, I can see. You see the map has gone a bit lighter, so this is all dynamic. So in this game, it's like an adventure. You never know what you're going to expect, what you're going to run into here. Depending on your orders, depending on what the AI, the Soviets do, you know, every game is like depending on what's happening at that time on the battle. Okay, so it's got better. Yeah, max visibility 2,000. There's some fog. Now you see my troops here. They're moving a little slower. They're going to get there after the tanks have got there, hopefully. No plan works 100%. Now I've got the best maximum availability, 6,000 meters. And now my phase is over. So I've had 2 phases. He's just been able to change his orders. And I'm now still sitting at 13. So my structure is pretty good. I'm going to keep everything as it's going. I'm pretty happy. So let's go. See my HQ there for the challenges coming late. He came with my units behind them. Okay, yeah, that's the first bit of combat. That's his reconnaissance units. They're gonna die quick. I can tell you now, you're gonna see how lethal the modern battlefield is. He's like bomb, 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 and out. I can tell you that. Quick, quick, quick. Okay, now my phase is over. Now what I'm gonna do is he's parked off there. He's on call, so I'm gonna order him to smoke screen. So I'm going to place a smoke over there, a smoke screen there, and a one there. So he's going to fire smoke here. Now, because my tanks can see, I've got thermal imaging, he won't be able to see my tanks, so he won't be able to aim at them. So I'll be able to shoot him without him being able to react. Isn't that awesome? There's a typical example of me using the capabilities of my tanks. Okay, so I'm going to hit that enter. So then he will then start firing at 5:44. There's his delays. You can give him delays to fire on his barrages as well. You can tell him to fire a little later. You can't tell him to fire earlier because that's the maximum we can fire. But you can tell him to fire a little later. So he will fire at that X at 5:45, round about 5:45. So that's another 5 minutes order delay to give him that. All right, cool. So let's just proceed. There's nothing else I want to do here. I haven't received my my FS is still my off map units are not. Let me go back here. They're not available just yet. So let's get going. There we go. The Reki's dead. Reconnaissance. Finish. Out of dead. Okay, so now my artillery, off-map artillery is available. So I can't do anything now because I've still got to finish out my phase. Okay, there's my first bit of smoke. You see, it's told me he's put it there. There, he started to bomb my tanks because now he's picked up I'm over there. Now he's moving, and I don't want him to move. I actually want him to keep shooting the smoke there. All right. Still waiting for my men to move in there. Okay, so now my turn. So I'm gonna take this artillery that's off map, and I'm gonna ask one of them to carry on firing smoke screens. So you're gonna put one there, and put one back in there. He's gonna carry on with that, and the times he's gonna do that. I'm gonna keep this guy on call, and I'm gonna keep him also on call. He ran out of smoke. Okay, so your ammunition runs out quickly here because the weapons fire so fast that they're lethal. You use a lot of ammunition. All right, let me just see what he can see. I know he's moved up there, so he's moved there because he was in screen. So if he decides that the units are getting too quickly, when you're on screen, he will move away. And same with the artillery, they will fire and then they will scoot because they pick up on your enemy picks up on the artillery fires and it starts to target your artillery. It's called counter battery. So these guys move around just to make sure that they don't when they fire they scoot so they don't get shot at. Anything else? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna move one of these guys back to there so he's not so, and I'm also gonna keep him on screen. All right, good. So here's okay, I wanted to explain it. So now you can see the orders phase. I can issue 8 orders, which is a lot for such a small size force, but I've only got 8. So each order issued would cost an order. You'll see on the Soviet side, they've got 3 or 4, and sometimes I will only have 3, depending on my force structure and how many HQs I got, and how many units are destroyed, and how capable are my units. This is dynamic as well. So you can see the nuances in this game. It's fantastic, really. It is. It's a fantastic simulation. All right, cool. I'm happy with those. Let's get started. I'll proceed. Now I'm just waiting for one more guy to move in here. I'm sure he should have moved in here. Yeah, there he's moved in there. Okay, good. So now I've covered all the X's. Put some more smoke because there he's bringing his tanks. Now these T-80s can't see through thermal imaging, so I want to. You see the blue lines are me shooting. and the red lines are when he's shooting at me. So he's not replying. Those tanks are dead. Let me tell you, this AT, but he's going to come and bomb this. He's not stupid. He's going to bring fire support down here. His planes are going to come down here and try and bomb the hell out of my positions here. Now I just need that extra smoke because I want to cover this. I want to cover this area here for my challenges. So the helicopters come. Okay. Let me zoom in so we can get a better idea. Now you can see, as I get kills, how this is happening in the field. Now he's starting to bomb here. He knows I'm here. He's bombing my tanks over here. I got to keep him so he's got no visibility. I gotta watch out for this bugger. Yeah, these are Hinds, and they got ATGMs, and I promise you they'll knock out all my tanks here. So they'll be very, very careful. I want to put some more smoke because he hasn't got thermal imaging. Just hoping these guys are gonna put some smoke here, and they haven't done it yet. My order phase, how much of I've still got a bit to play out. I've got to be careful here. But my AA here should cover that, hopefully. Now watch out. The main threat on this battlefield is these Hinds. These things are lethal. Now I wonder why. When's my I'm out of smoke. That's why. I ran out of ammunition. I'm going to use this guy to smoke screen. First there. Boom. There. And then back here again. No, I'll put him in there. Okay, so at least he'll shoot some ammunition. I'm going to keep the rest of him on core. My anti-tank is run low on ammo. Now, I'll give you the idea with the command center, where you get these reports. Staff alerts. And he's telling me, yeah, he's out of ammo. So what I can do with him, he's low on ammo, so he doesn't much ammo. I can put him on resupply. Now, what he'll do is he'll move away towards my HQ, and he'll spend about 30 minutes resupplying his ammo and all that, and he'll give me a message and I can put him back there. So I'll do that with him. Now, all of this stuff is costing orders here. Okay. I'm going to leave the setup as it is. I got a helicopter here. So this is a Lynx. He's also got tow. It's 54 penetration in heat. He's got 8 of those. So I'm gonna bring him. I think you know what? I think I'm gonna put him. Hang on. Let me put I just want to see. I think I'm gonna put him there by the Challenger here, not so stacked up here. So I don't want him to stacked up on that. So I'm gonna toggle that line of sight off. I'm gonna put him. Move him deliberate there, undercover, and I will put him on that hill above my Challenger. Okay, good. So that's 3 orders. Anything else I want to move? Happy with everything. This guy's covering the route. You can see what's there. I'm going to leave these guys on hold. Yeah, he's supporting that. Now, another part of this is that these guys can be on. I can change them. Move as you've seen. I've been changing some of the orders for them to fire. I can change their orders. The counter battery, I can put them on different types of suppressing fire, but the AI will do this naturally. These guys in these units on all these will call for support from all these artillery pieces, and they will call, and then they will fire in support of these guys. But I can also change that, and I can also ask him to directly support a unit or HQ, which means there's nobody will be able to call him, but that unit will have exclusive ability to call him. So you're trading flexibility for direct support, which means that you'll be able to fire fast for these guys, and these guys will always have him available. The other guys won't. So you've got that type of flexibility that you can use with your artillery as well. Is there anything else I want to move here? No. So we can start the game. Let's proceed. I just hope that guy fires that smoke now. Good, there's my anti-aircraft. He's fired a SAM. He's got one of those helicopters. I hope he gets the other one of those Hinds. I want to put some more smoke here. Protect my tanks. Now he's gone a little bit far, but it's fine. He's shooting SAMs at this. So this was a good place to put my... Here comes some more tanks. And I need this smoke. Now you notice he's bombing my HQ. That's because I've got the radioactivity is 30 per hour. The orders I'm sending out and my units reporting back is giving me 30 per hour. That means he can start to see where my HQs are, and he starts to bomb them. Now, remember, your HQs are your structures of your force. It's important to keep your HQs intact. Otherwise, you lose readiness, you lose all kinds of stuff. Those tanks are going to die if I can put some more smoke here. And I want to kill this iron. Very important. Helicopter's coming. Yeah, these tanks don't have a chance, man. I feel sorry for the AI in this scenario. I've tried to win this game with the Soviets, and I promise you, I get wiped out by the AI. He brings his tanks down here, and he brings his troops down here. I've tried to change this up. I've even put my tanks here, his tanks. I've put them here in cover in the things. I still get wiped out. Wiped out. I haven't been able to win this scenario playing as the Soviets. That's probably designed that way to make it easier for you as an introductory scenario for the NATO side. Okay, so my resolution is over. I just want to see what his command structure is. Let's see. He's pretty much covered, so I'm happy with him moving around, moving out the way. He's barraging over there, but this is a call that he's got from one of these units. Do I have the? I want to showcase the tornado is not here yet. He's coming in 41 minutes. I want to show how you can give airstrikes out. He's run out of ammunition, smoke ammo, and he's also run out of smoke ammo. This happens sometimes, and I'm just sure. He's also out of smoke ammo? Is he out? He's out of smoke ammo. So there's nothing I can't put any more smoke here. So I'm gonna just play by. I'm just gonna hope that the challenges are good enough here. Is there anything else I want to move? No, I'm happy with everything where it is. Okay, start. Oh, my helicopter's doing well. Those tow missiles are helping out a lot. No, these tanks are dead, yeah. It's like a turkey shoot. The only real threat in this game from the Soviet side is this Hind. These Hinds are a real threat. They can destroy your tanks in no time, man. Okay, so they basically wiped out his tanks over there. Now you see he's put an airstrike in here on my HQ. He wants to destroy my structure. So there we go. And I put him on screen to try and get him away, yeah? Try and hide him. Yeah. And there he's bombing my units over there as well in the town. Yeah, I see this is a real problem. This that's why I'm relying on my AA, the anti-aircraft to shoot SAMs, get these helicopters down. I'm going to keep him there on screen because he's both a Challenger and a Ferret was destroyed. I've still got the structure there. I got to watch out for this guy. I've just got to see how far he can shoot. Max fire area. Okay, he's still covered, but he's, I need him to be, because he might just keep moving. So I'm going to move him back. I'm going to move him back deliberately back to this X here. And I'm going to keep putting him on call. Okay. Now he's out of ammo. So he's resupplying near my HQ here. And when he's resupplied finished, if you look at the F2 here, let me just see the staff alerts. Now you can see these units are out of ammo. There's a helicopter. He's also going to resupply. These guys, their readiness ratings, their morale, their ammo alerts me like it's 47% for this tank platoon and stuff. It's nice because updated, and you can see it's all updated in real time. And enemy, what I can see, where I can see what I see over there, where he is at the moment. And what available reconnaissance I've been able to see of his, and then my detail, just to show you that this is all updated real time. You come here and find out, where all your units are, especially if you've got a large map, you've got hundreds of units, and the staff summary report has also been updated here. Basically all my losses, units fallen out, and where I'm sitting as compared to him. And I can also get this on the victory points part here, where I'm sitting, the kills and his kills. All right. Oh, okay. Today, I wasn't sure. No, the tornado hasn't come yet because I want to showcase that and show you how that thing works. Is there anything else I want to do? I've moved him. He's on resupply. I put the Spartan also on resupply. If you notice, there it is there, and I put him on resupply. He'll resupply at about 6:30, 20 to 7. I'm going to leave everything as it is. And then we'll carry on. I'm happy with my situation here. I worry about these Hinds because they're tank killers. Now my unit's been completely resupplied there. Yeah, I see, it's dangerous. Now I got no smoke. I ran out of smoke there. Sometimes it happens depending. It's dynamic. He's gonna come and bomb me, SAMs. I'm gonna need those SAMs to go. Those. How's my? See, now he's getting longer. See, my cycle is only 13 minutes. He's now 38. Remember, he started at 24. As I've destroyed all his tanks and I've lowered his readiness of his force, he's now taking. I'm twice 13. I can make orders 3 times within his almost 3 times within his order cycle. So I'm within that. So I'm pretty much ahead of the game. I can see what he's going to do and react to it when he can't react in a hurry. This helicopter, the tornado didn't come. I want to show that off. All right. So I'm happy with everything as it is now. So we can just proceed. There's nothing else I can do here. I want the tanks to stay there. I want those SAMs to wipe these Hinds. They're a real threat to my tanks. Now he's bombing there. He knows there. Yeah, he set an airstrike there. Okay, it's over. I'm happy with that. Anything come yet? No, nothing's come yet. See, I'm getting orders quickly to react to him. He's still playing on his. I'm going to bring this helicopter up to here, so he can help out with this. So there he comes with his mechanized infantry. They're going to die die like flies. Did he kill all of this? Because I couldn't show you the game's basically ended because I've got a 95% success rating. Basically, his whole force has been wiped out, and I'm sitting with the X's, so it's like a sudden death, overwhelming victory. I'm gonna play a little bit on because let me just play on because I want to show you how the tornado works. That's coming in. I just want to show that tornado out. How you use a tornado. I don't know if it's coming. All right, let's just wait and see. I'll show you the tornado that I'll end the scenario, so you can get an idea how the air support thing works. He's still not. Yeah, he's basically a turkey shoot, man. Now he's dismounted. Now he's gonna come and try and take lanes. I'm hoping I can get this because I wanted to showcase this air support. I'm hoping I can get that so you can see what it's like when you get air support. Okay, let's just see. Okay, this my phase is over. Let me just see when this. Okay, the tornado's available. Okay, I've won the scenario already, but I just want to show you how you use air support. So basically, it's on call. So these units will call this, or you can give it orders. So I could say call an airstrike over here, right? And I can then press enter, and I can decide. It tells me the time of arrival, and I can also decide whether I want him to attack that particular hex, that particular one, or he can attack up to 4 different locations around there. So what that means, if I set it to say 4, he will fly around there, and if he can decide, and if he sees whether there's another target there that looks better, he will automatically go and attack that. If I set it to 1, like I said earlier, he will just go and attack that hex. So I'll put it down to 1 because I think there's only 1 there. I just want to see, can I move this down? No, I can't. So that's when he's going to start. When will it be? Okay, 7:21. What's the time now? Okay, okay, let me just see if let me just see if he can. I want to show you this so you can see how he comes in. I think before this next phase, he will come in and fly in and shoot. Now he's obviously trying to assault this hex. There it is. There it is. and then he drops his bombs. Okay, and then you'll see if there's units in there that he's seen. Sometimes he gets it wrong. There, you will see what he's destroying. Yeah, and you'll see what he destroys. It'll tell you there, and that's how you bring your. And he doesn't always get it right, depending on the pilot, the training, and veterancy. Okay, I'm going to end it here. Yeah, let's end the game now and say yes. Okay, basically, so I basically won this. I won it earlier. I just wanted to show you how the airstrike, how to set up an airstrike. Okay, so now here's the end summary. And you can see that I am now 95%, so it's decisive success. And the amount of enemy units I killed, and the amount he killed, he didn't get any victory hexes. And then there's a detailed description here of how it ended, what I have remaining. It's at the end of the battle, units had an 87% average readiness and command cycle duration of 12 minutes. And then the Soviet forces. So in depth, I've got the graph to show me everything. I can also switch this to view what he had and see how many kills he got. Like, this is the table that I showed you earlier. It shows me I killed 40 tanks, but the first armored platoon got 13 of them, and the second got 4 of them, and that sort of thing. I can look at his operational center and see where. Okay, this is basically what he knew of me, and that was basically what I sort of knew of him. You understand? So the game's in depth, and all his alerts for his units on his battlefield, and all mine. Okay, so I think I covered it. I'm trying to keep that, because the video is a little long, because now I've gone through an overview and I've gone in detail of how all the units move. I hope I've covered everything that I'm sure I must have missed a few things out, because the game is way more in depth than probably what I've explained it here. But I hope I've covered the essence of this fantastic game. I mean, go buy it; it's brilliant. And as I think I repeated before, I'm going to be doing a video day. I'm going to play all the scenarios for NATO, and I'm going to play all the ones for Warsaw Pact. I'm also going to play the campaigns, all the campaigns on this, and it's going to be, because I've never played the scenarios, and I only played the tutorial. So when I play the scenarios, it'll be first time me playing it. So I'll be going in there like a hot seat, also doing my best. Okay. All right, I hope you like this video, and there's going to be more in this awesome game as I go along. I'm going to play through all the scenarios, and yeah, if you have any questions, I mean, if I got anything wrong or whatever you want to add on this, please leave it in the comments. All right, until our next video, this is Sean from Combat Simulations. Please subscribe. Please like my videos. It helps me out a lot. Good day on you.